about altering templates. Was that your question?
Yeah, I wanted to, I've got one, and I've managed to change the colors, do the typing. And then I wanted, you know, how with Canva, you can make another square, but I didn't know how to, because I just copied your template and doing the same, but putting my words in it. But it's just to change the size of it. And I sort of clicked on the perimeter of the square, but it didn't seem to be able to extend or get smaller.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does, yes. So what I think might be really helpful, some of you will have this one in your it'll be already in your templates, but I'm just going to share it in case you haven't. Because I think probably if you've got your Go High Level screen as well open, you can go over there and do a little change. If I suggest something, you can go back to it and you can have a look at it as well. So just find the right one that I want to give you. So let's do this join group one. So I'm going to give you the so in the chat here, this is one to join a Facebook group. And if you click on there, it will open it up on a different page and you can import it. Some of you will have it already, but if you haven't, when you import it, it will ask you what name you want to call it. So give it a name like test or something so that you can go back and find it.
And if we've already got it, will it just copy it and say copy or version 2?
Yes, it'll bring it in again. Yeah. It will say copy, it'll say copy or something by it, yeah.
Oh yeah, I've got it already.
So always, whenever you're using a template, just, you know, a good tip is never work on that template. Duplicate it first. Click on the 3 buttons at the side and duplicate it, or you want to, or clone it. It calls it clone here. In other parts, it calls it duplicate. But always work on another version so that you can go back to the original if you want to. And if you want to find something and you don't want to have to go searching through a whole list of them, in your name that you give it, use a numeric value at the beginning, like 1, and then it will bring it to the top of your list.
So which one have we gone into?
Join group. So did you?
I don't see that one.
So if you click on the link that I've shared in the chat,
okay,
it will open another page for you, and it will ask if you want to import the funnel.
Okay.
I'll just open it, so what you'll get. A good one actually, because I want to change the image in this one anyway. So that's what you should see, something like this.
oh, I see that one, right, okay. It's hard to, I'm trying to see what you're doing and put this on my screen.
Yeah, I mean, you can do like half a screen, but what I tend to do on these things is like watch and then go back and do the step and then come back and go do the step. So we'll just do a few things today. We're recording it. See how far we get in the hour. I can carry on recording it later on so that you get the rest of the learning from it. But this is a really basic funnel that's something that you can use in so many different ways. You can change it and you can use it for various lead magnets and things. So have you all found it, got a name for it, etc.? Yeah. So the first thing you want to do with any funnel that you're going to do is create the domain for it. It does actually, it'll tell you to do that. So you go into settings. You can see it's got the name. If you wanted to change it, you could do there as well. Don't worry about the sort of pixel codes and things like that, all to do with Facebook ads. But the domain you want to have in there. Now, this domain is not our website domain, it's a different domain. And the recommendation is to use a different domain for anything else. For a website, just keep, if you've got a website, leave that domain for that website. Don't reuse it for something else. Because if something else knocks the course of this domain off, it will spoil people being able to get into your website.
Okay.
So you can use a subdomain if you want to. And a subdomain, a subdomain is where you add in, where instead of saying www.succeedfromthestart.online, it would be www.app.succeedfromthestart.online or funnel. Or welcome. And you have to do that, you have to set it up. So I will do a little walkthrough video of how to set up subdomains. I will just, it doesn't take very long, so it's probably easier to do that on a separate video. But you can edit your landing page without adding your domain. So you can be working on this whether or not you've added a domain yet, but it will, to be able to publish it, you do need to add a domain to it. And then if you go back to the steps and click on this first step, it'll open it up for you. Now, because this is a template, literally everything in it can be edited and changed. So if I didn't want red or I wanted a different font here, then I can change those things. Now, there's a way that you can change the font right the way across your own platform. Supposing you always wanted to use the same font, you could do that. And again, that's a global change. So we're not going to do that today. But if you decided, actually, I want all my font on this funnel to be the same, then rather than doing it here on the left where we're just talking about that particular box, we can go into settings. And here we can go to typography. So I would like us all to do this. If we go into settings and go to typography, I'm not going to go anywhere else until you've all kind of found that box and let me know that you've found it, or if you haven't found it. Is anybody not finding it? And then if you click it, this is now you can change the font for all of your funnel. So the fonts are very similar to ones that you've seen before. They're Google fonts. So you can either click on there and find it, or you can type in one, see what you want. If you know, like if you've got a brand font, we tend to use something called Atma a lot, so I'll change it to Atma. And then it's got your headline font, and then it's got your content font. So this is all for the smaller contents and the different sort of shape things that you've got. I'm going to use the same one. And then you can choose your color as well. Now, if you want a particular color brand, like we use the purple a lot, you can go and get your code from your Canva account if you're using Canva. I'm going to add that in here just because it's something you might want to do quite regularly. You might want to change things that way. Have I got Canva open? So this purple is what we often use, and I want to know what code that purple is. To find your code for your color, for your brand colors, you go onto that colored wheel, and this little code down there, that's our purple that we use a lot. So you can copy that particular code. And you can go back here and you can add it there. Custom add your code. And then you have to click the actual color and it will add it. You have to go down here. And then you add the color. So now my text color, I want my text color to be purple. And the link color is another color that you can change, obviously, if you want to change that one. So I could change that to our turquoise, for example. I'll change it to this one for now. Oops, it's the wrong one. My computer. If somebody doesn't want to change it. So you can click X on there. So I'm just setting up my headline font. I actually want this font to be like that. So I've just gone down there and clicked, because it'll give you a choice now. When you go down to headline font, you can either have the headline font that I've already set, or if you wanted to do a different one there, you could do a custom font there if you wanted to change it to a different one. I want a color. It's telling me that the bold color here is red. I don't want red. Now, the one thing that irritates me a little bit, sometimes you have to re-add your code for your color. You shouldn't have to if you know, if it's all set in there, but that's not really accepted, that one. So I want my own color. That looks like, I don't know if that is the right one, actually. It looks a bit dark to me. Seems to be the right one. There we go. I think I've imported a slightly wrong color, but never mind, we'll leave it like that. Then you can decide, obviously, if that's the right size for your words. You can change your sizes. And you can either put the number there, or you can obviously put, you know, go down a little bit if you want to make it a bit smaller. Check when you're at this stage, every now and again, just check two things. Everything you change, always save. It will remind you if you move away every so often, it will give you a save, you know, save, don't go. Because if you do go to a different page, like other things, it won't save it automatically. So you want to save what you're doing fairly often. And then the other thing you want to do is to double check, what does it look like on the mobile? Because so often people are using a mobile phone now.
Yeah.
So have a little look. Does it look okay on a mobile? That's really big. So do I want that size on the mobile? No, not really. I want them to be able to read it. I don't want them to be just seeing nothing else.
Sorry, where do you go to check on the mobile?
Just up at the top on the left-hand side, you've got a little icon for the computer and one for the mobile.
Okay, thanks.
So then you can change it, make sure that it looks like you want it to look. And the nice thing I think is it kind of, it's that is the sort of pretty much the size of my mobile phone on the screen here. So it gives you an idea of what it looks like. Then I'm going to go back there and work on it. So similarly, with any of these boxes, you can change your writing and so on. If you go in there, again, I can go down there and find out. I don't want the open sans here. I want my own content. I might want my content font here, for example.
So Angela, would you say that on a mobile then, with that heading, would that heading look a bit too big for a mobile, or do you think that that's absolutely okay?
Well, I think the best way to do it eventually is to, you know, have a little go yourself and sort of see what you think. But for me, the first thing, the most, you know, you want them to see, but that's, you know, that's still a little bit big, isn't it? It is quite a big statement, so you don't want it to be too small. You do want them to like see it, almost like they can read it without reading it.
Yeah.
If it's too small, they won't be able to. But once you've actually published, you'll be able to go and check in a way on your mobile phone, and then you can always go back and edit it. Test it as you go. Now let's go to this send my group invitation one, because this is a button that's got a link. You know, this is where we want to send people to. So I'm going to go on there. First of all, you can change things about the appearance of this. So again, I might want to put my headline font here. Do I want the color? Do I want it to be in the middle? You've got your alignment buttons. The color of the text is white at the moment. This padding, this is all about if you want a bigger gap above or below. So here, you can make things bigger and smaller. That.
What's changing on that? I can't see it.
Do you know what? I'm just looking myself because I can't see anything changing on that.
No, neither with me.
So I'm just going to go to this one here and do it there. So if I wanted more space, normally speaking, if you want more space between, say I want more space between this big one and that send my group invitation, that's where you would do your, so I'd add a bit of space there.
Yeah.
Okay.
And a bit of space there underneath like that.
Mhm.
If I want a gap.
Mhm.
But it's interesting that this one didn't do that for me. Let's see.
Sorry,
margin.
where do you find the font sizing again?
The font sizing. So if I go there, it's nearer the top. Virtually the first thing it offers you is a color around the type of font. And then here, underneath the text align.
Heading setting.
And then your color of your font. The nice thing I do like is you don't have to highlight to be able to change your color. You can do it that way. The other thing is, can you see there's a purple line around this? So this is because you've got a kind of a big, you've added in a big, what do they call them? It's an element, a big element, and then you've added things into that big element. And then you've got an even bigger one here. This is the whole thing. The green. The green is the whole page. That's the section you've added. But inside that green one, you've also got a purple one and a blue one.
And if you wanted to change, you know, it's all in white at the moment, but if you wanted to change the actual color of your background, how would you do that?
So this is where you need to pick. So on your templates, how they've been created is they've added in, say, sometimes columns, sometimes rows, and so on for you, which you can delete or change around as you want to. Then you need to decide, well, if I want to change my background color, which part do I want to change? Do I want like the whole thing? So I've got the green outlined here. Do I want to change that background color? At the moment, on the left-hand side, you'll see it says background color is white. So click on the white, and maybe I want it to be this kind of greeny color. Got two colours there, blue and green. Interesting. So I've changed now pretty much the whole thing.
Okay.
But if I want to go back, I decide, oh, I don't really like that. Doesn't look too nice. I'm going to go back. Maybe I just want to change the background of this orange one.
Okay.
And again, if you go down on the left-hand side, you'll see background color there.
Okay.
And because it's got no color at all, it just shows this like checkerboard. But if you click on there, again, I could change it there. So maybe I'm going to change it to yellow. It was horrible. So I'm not going to leave it there. Or grey. You know, we'll change it to whatever you like. If you wanted to change, it's just a case of finding the bit that you want to change. Because you've also got this purple thing here. And maybe that's the bit you want to change. And again, you'll find the background color. So just double check which is it that you want to do. This is a button. So this is actually an element that's been added. If you want to add elements in, so supposing I wanted to add an element here, which says something else. If you click the plus, maybe I want to put a little paragraph and some information, or maybe I want to put I wanted to put a button, and this is where I would have got the button from to put here. So if there isn't a button, then you wanted to add one, that's where you find it. Wherever a little plus sign is, you can add in anything you like here. You've got images, videos, calendar. This is where you could put a calendar link in, for example, if you wanted to.
And you can put a link in there as well?
Yeah. Yeah, so if there is, I'll show you that actually, because I think you'll see it on here where there is a link. So if you want to change an image, now this image is changed for us, we're not using this image anymore. Then click on that particular element that you've added, and then down the left-hand side, you'll see image there. We want to change the image. So further down here, I can change the image. If you click on the little image button, it takes you into your store place. So maybe I want to change it to this one here, but I haven't got any words on that one, so that's not going to work too well yet. I'd have to go back and look at it. But supposing I'm going to, maybe I'm going to change it to that one. You upload your file just like normal. Click on there and upload your file from your own files. It will come in here. To use it, you just double click on the picture you want to use and it will appear. Then here again, you've got lots of things you can change, and you've got these buttons again. Now for your button, you can obviously change the color of the button and things like that.
Sorry, what is a button?
So a button is what people click so that they're going to get sent to your group. So that's where you'll add a link in, and on your button, you will write the words of the thing that they're going to do, whether it's, you know, add your email address, download this form, or download this free gift, that sort of thing. That's what you use a button for.
So how do you set up a button? I know it's very
you set up a
simple.
button by here. Supposing that button wasn't here, I've got different elements in here. So you can add an element. So if you go to the plus, it brings in all these different elements that you can add. And one of them is a button.
Yeah.
And if you did click that one, it would put it there. It will put it where you put your plus sign. It will give you an idea of what it thinks you want to say. And every time you click on a different element on your landing page, always down the left-hand side here, you've got the way that you can edit that thing. So there's the text. You might want to say, claim your free gift. You might want to say, book your call. You can type your writing in there. You can change the color of your writing like we did before. Maybe I
Yeah, so
don't-
if they're doing that and then they're getting to book your call, where do you then put them so that they get the right follow on the button route, if you see what I mean?
Yeah. So down here, see down here it says open pop-up.
Okay.
Now your pop-up, if you click on there, you've got various things that you can do. Now at the moment, most of you will be using, obviously book your call, this is going to be a calendar link that you're going to want to add on there. But it might be that you're going to want their email address. And that's the kind of form that we want to do. So if you go up to the pop-up at the top up here on the left-hand side, in this case, in this particular template that we're using, it's already got a form there. And the form it's already got is them filling in their email address. You might not want that, you might want something else, but I've added that form into here. So at the moment, all the pop-up settings are like that. I'm going to get rid of that because I don't want it. So it sends you a group invitation. So it's going to give you the element. The element here is the pop-up form that they're going to get. But if you wanted to change your pop-up form, you can open up the settings. Just go there, click away from that. If you wanted to do something different with your particular one, you wanted to have a calendar link there, then here we want to change what it was doing, what the button action was doing. Or if you're let me just go down. I think we'll have to go back out of here to change. If we want to change it to something different, you have got different forms in your accounts that you can import instead. The reason I wanted to work on this one at the moment is because it's already got set up with it some email content going out, which I'll show you in a second. But if you're setting one up from scratch, you can add any form you want into it. So you can set calendar links in as well. You'll see on the next page that if I just save all this, don't forget to save. If you're going back out of it, then you want to save it. And then you can go back out. And we're going to go to the thank you page. So on this particular one, you've got a little timer here, which is going to redirect them to the Facebook group. Again, that's just in the elements. You can just add timers whenever you want to. They're over here in the elements. Countdowns, minute timers, and so on. I've got my font and everything I can change, but let me just check. Yeah, so on here, if you want to add a link here, then you can do. So if you wanted to click that, if I'd said there, click this link to join the Facebook group, then you can add in that link at the top. Or it might be click this link to book a call with me. And this is where you'd add your calendar link. And your URL would be your calendar link that you'll get from your group, which we'll dive over there in a minute. And now the choice here as well, do you want them to open that calendar link in the current page? which might mean that they forget to go back. There might be some more information that you wanted them to read. So I would normally choose next window and send them to the next window. And it means it'll open on another page, but they can go back and check. And I prefer, I don't know about yourselves, but I prefer to do that. If I'm booking with somebody, I like to go back sometimes and have a little look, see what it was that was on that page. So I usually choose the next window. You can actually do that anywhere. So any writing you can add your link to. So if I just pop back. Now, because I've added a domain on this one, I can check it. So what I'm going to do is share it with all of you. This is how you can check it yourself, this little square button. So you can go up there and you can have a little look, see what it looks like. Do you like the look of it? But the other thing that we just want to make sure as well that I didn't show you is from your first page, right down at the bottom, on this left-hand page, we want to know, well, what do they do? What happens when they get to the bottom of here? We want it to go to the next page. So when they click that one and it says send my group invitation, we want to make sure that it goes to page number 2. So it links to the pop-up. This is where you can change your button on the advanced side, by the way, if you want to change the colour of your button and so on. You can have effects. You can have your button rocking. Things like that. The theme seems to be a whole list of colours. Down there you've got a button with a rounded corner. All of the funnel templates are built so that the one page goes to the next one. So that's all, you know, in the settings, that's how they're created. They're the passes. In here, you can change the names of your pages as well in the settings on each one if you want it to, because it will come out with a number. It will be like group, it'll be something like go high level or landing page 567932 or something like that. So you can change the names of everything as you go along.
So Angela, in that, sorry, where is that group landing page?
So that's here, the settings.
On the settings.
Yeah,
Okay.
so if you just click on the settings, you can change those things if you want to. If you wanted, by the way, to have 2 of these pages, you can, you know, you can have copies. If you've got one thing that you want some information on and you want another landing page that's pretty much has the same thing and they can click again, you can literally just clone and add in extra steps if you want to.
So you said that you wanted them to go to the next page, but we don't see
Yes, I
them.
wanted to just double check that it's actually all set up in the funnel already. When you've all had to go at playing with funnels and things yourselves, then we'll do one where you're creating something completely from scratch. And on that one, you have to go in and set it that page 1 goes to page 2, page 2 goes to page 3, and so on. Now and again, you'll have seen it where you're on a landing page and there's a button that says, if you're ready to buy now, just click here. And it will just like skip everything and go to the sign-in page at the end. Otherwise, you've got this massive long thing to go all the way down. So that's how they, so they have things that are in there that people can click straight away if they want to. If you want to add your calendar link, then on your calendar, and this is where your Pamela, this is what you're going to give them. You go to your calendar settings. And this is where you'd create a new one. Or you could use one of your templates already. But if you want to create a new calendar that you're going to give for your website, then the most important thing for any calendar that you create is always to choose the round robin. This means that when you've got a team of people working with you, you won't have to change anything. And it also gives them a better quality calendar. So if you select the round robin, then give your calendar a name. So this case might be, what would you call it then? Discovery
Clients.
call, Pamela?
No, clients.
Client, just client call.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because it would be we would book on it if they wanted an appointment, then they could book it, and then and they can leave their telephone number, then I would call them back.
So usually on your calendar, what it is, it's saying to the person, so at this stage, they wouldn't be a client yet.
Okay, so yeah, I
So-
suppose then it would be a discovery call.
You can add in a description if you want to. You can put a little bit like, book this slot. Do you like to just give them more services, something like that. The team member is you. Once you've got a team, if you want other people to take your call, because you've got a round robin calendar, you could add in, say, 4 people if you wanted to. And then you can choose your meeting duration. How long is your meeting going to be? 30 minutes, 50 minutes, and so on. And then your booking availability. This is your general overall times that you're going to have. You can further customize this later on if you want to. But at the moment, what it will do is set in an overall picture. But on your calendar, it will take account of the fact that actually on Mondays from 3 to 5, you've got sessions that's blocked out already on your calendar. Maybe Tuesdays all day is blocked out. So this is just giving them an overall view. Your main calendar will show them which slots are available. Confirm that. Slug is required to here. It wants you to add in a little bit of something. It's given you a suggestion there. So give it a name. I think you've actually got to put dashes between them.
Okay.
It will tell you if you're doing anything wrong, something will come up in red. So here's your link already. Now this is just giving you a very quick calendar link, but you can go in and change all sorts of things on there. You might want to do other things on there. You might want to edit it.
Yeah, so if I was doing that, then I would just have this only for my clients. They wouldn't see my whole calendar. They would only see this particular one to book a call.
Nobody will see your whole calendar.
Okay.
I'll just stop sharing a minute. So yeah, so on your calendar, what they will see is the times that you've got available for them to book. So it will block out any times that you've already blocked out on your calendar.
Okay, because in France we have this system that when we want to see a doctor, you don't do a discovery call, they just book your appointment, and you don't do anything else, and they just turn up. And that's the idea of what I would want people to do, rather than them phoning me up. They would just say, okay, she does this, I want an appointment, and then they can book that appointment, and then they come.
So I mean, just as so you really want them to be able to book an appointment with you as a clinician, as a therapist, as a coach, when they've not met you and they don't know you.
Yep. That's what people do, because then they what they do in France, then they then go and see your website, and then they see whether this is something that you want to do. I mean, I want to have maybe they want a discovery call first, or they can just book. Some people just want to book. Some
Yeah, so
people want
that's-
to just go.
Okay. So whatever you have, so let's go back to here a minute. Your calendar is there for you to use exactly how you want it. So
Okay.
I'm going to go away from that one. Close that one. So in this one here, what have I done? Discovery call. Maybe it's this one here. I've created a calendar. No, actually, I'm going to do a new one again. I wanted more than that. Whatever your calendar is, so this is appointment. No, what would you call it then? Appointment with Pamela.
Yeah.
So we're not going to put Pamela here. Add your description, book this slot for whatever it is that you're saying. You're going to have to put it with you because that's who they're booking with.
Mm.
So you've got your times here. As I say, this is, you'll just choose on your calendar when you're allowing them to book. You maybe they can only book with you on Mondays and Tuesdays
Okay.
because that's the only time you're going to, and you're what you'll have to do is make sure you've got time on your calendar.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now we want to go to advanced settings. Instead of just confirming it and doing a quick view, you want to go to advanced settings. Make sure you've added in your, see where it says that slug is already taken?
Mm.
You just need to add something else to it. It wants something else to make it sure it's an individual one. But now you want to go to advanced settings. And this is where you can now add in more information, which they will see. You can put your logo.
I see.
You can put your name, your description of the appointment, your invite title, because it'll send an invitation. If you are doing it with 3 people, if you've got some other staff by then and you want it, say it was you and Barbara that was sharing this, then you'd put both your names in and then you'd optimize it so that one person gets a chance with Pamela, one person gets a chance with Barbara.
Okay.
But if you want it for availability, and supposing Barbara's away for 3 weeks, it will automatically book with you, Pamela, because Barbara's calendar is out.
Okay.
If you want it to do it where you want to get most appointments, but you do want them, you know, Barbara possibly to get some, if you know if you're booked up for 3 weeks, you want them to be able to book Barbara as well. You could make Barbara say low priority.
Okay.
This is how it'll appear on your calendar, the colors there. And like everything else with Go High Level, you save it. Now here you can see it's chosen that I'm only available Monday and Tuesday. Now you can customize it even further. Maybe it's only Monday morning. So if you click on the time, maybe it's only till 12 p.m. And then maybe it's Tuesday afternoon.
Okay.
So if you want to do it to all, you could copy it to all. Supposing you wanted it all on both days to be in the morning, you could copy to all. The recurring meeting would mean that they could book in, supposing you're giving them a 6-week course and they want you allowing them to book the same time each week, then you can click on recurring meeting and they'll be able to do that. This is the most important bit here. How long is the appointment, first of all?
Mm.
How much notice do you need for when they book? Do you need just 1 day? You know, are you going to check your calendar every day and make sure that if you've noticed that there's an appointment tomorrow? Or do you want 3-4 days? for that, you know, that they can't book straight away? Do you want them to have to wait? So choose yourself. Some people will say 4 hours because they're so good at checking their calendar that they'll know that, you know, that they've got somebody coming, you know, in 4 hours time. I would always leave a day myself because I will check my calendar in the morning to see if anybody's booked in. You don't want to leave it too long because obviously if they can't book an appointment for 2 weeks, it's, you know, they're probably going to go somewhere else. And then how far ahead do you want them to be able to book? If you leave it for too long, if you said that they can book up to 4 weeks ahead, they may not show. They may have forgotten in 4 weeks' time. So, you know, for me personally, I always put 14 days, but I know some people will just literally put 3 days, 4 days. So choose yourself what you want to do for that. And then have a think to yourself, now that you're really popular and lots of people are booking you, how many appointments can you cope with through your day? You know, can you cope with 10? Can you cope with 3? What kind of service are you providing? Would you be completely shattered if your calendar was completely full? So have a think. And then your slot, how many bookings could you take per slot? So if you're doing 3-hour booking slots, could you cope with 4 people in those 3 hours? Or could you only cope with 2? Have a think and put the number that suits you. Your buffer time is about how much gap do you want between. If you've got people booking and they all want to book for tomorrow, then how much gap do you need between appointments so that you can go to the bathroom and have a drink and so on? Choose yourself. Make sure that it's make sure that you haven't put days here. Just double check all of those things. And save that one. And then up here, this is sort of how they're being told. Now you might have a form. The default form that they'll be given is to put their first, last name, email, phone, and they can add some notes. So that's the form they'll be given automatically. But you might want something else. You might want something that, you know, you've made a custom form to add in there. So you could do that too. And it will show here. You will have some forms as templates in your accounts. And so maybe there's one there that you wanted to use, but your standard one, you know, generally okay. I would say pre-populate fields. That just means that if they've filled in forms before to book an appointment with you, it will just automatically put their details in. And they can change it if it's not right anymore. Now, because of Europe and other places, there is now a consent checkbox, which means that that's added automatically. Now, you don't necessarily in the UK as yet have to have that ticked, but it's a nice thing to tick. It's up to you really, because when they've booked an appointment with you, if you don't have that one, then their details will definitely go into your email list. And you know, anyway, if you do, then you'll know for sure that their email goes into your database and they do want to hear from you. Which is good because, you know, it's less likely to go to spam then. But it always does it by default. So again, you can switch it up if you want to. So it gives you a little message, you know, thank you message. Obviously you can change that. And where it says auto confirm new calendar meetings, it basically sets up a sort of chain. If you have to change the date or anything, you can accept payments on your calendar if you want to. Maybe they have to pay to book this call, to make this appointment. Maybe you want them to pay up front, Pamela. So you can do that. You can have accepting payments on your calendar.
Yep.
And save that. And now this one is just about who's going to be told. So an acknowledgement email gets sent. You can.
Can you do it by text?
Yeah, well, if you're going to use Go High Level and you want them to be confirmed by text, I have to set that up on your account and it does cost extra.
Okay. Okay, fine.
Once you're getting, a reasonable flow of clients, I would definitely have it set up on your account. It's not very much, it's not very expensive, but it's another cost that could be building up without you knowing.
Yeah, yeah.
And who should receive this? Confirmation, contact the person. And then the person who's probably, that's you, or if you're sharing it with somebody else, you could do it there too. And then here, just tick these Google Calendars and assign contacts. Customization bit is literally about the way that the calendar appears, and there's 2 different ways, so you can try them yourself. And then the only last thing is, are you going to allow them to reschedule a meeting or to cancel the meeting? And people have different choices on that one. I always let people reschedule. Some people don't like it. Once you put everything into your calendar, so Pamela, anybody booking on this calendar could be booking a slot to see you. It's entirely up to you what
Right.
you use the calendar for.
Okay.
And then to share that link, you'll just use the 3 buttons. And you'll share
Oh,
the
right.
link.
Okay. Yeah.
So there's an embed code. If it's going on a website, you could embed it on the website. That's what your website person will need, the embed code.
Where did I get that? Copy.
That's what she'll need. Anybody got any questions about calendars or the landing page that we sort of that we've done? Because what I'll do is I'll be doing some more kind of like walkthroughs, but we can or else at the next open office, we can always, if you could have a play over the weekend and come back with questions about it on Monday if you wanted.
It's like everything. You explain it so beautifully, and I'm writing notes and think, yeah, got it. Then in front of the screen, it's like, what did she say? I don't know if
Yeah.
anyone else is like that, but I think, I need to really practice it to work it. But, you explain it so well and you think, yeah, I've got it. And then you sit on the screen and think, what did she say?
I know. Oh, I'm exactly the same. Let me just stop recording. What I'll do is